What should you do if you win the lottery? This is part 3. This loosely requires the context of the past 2 videos, so please watch those first. Now let's get into the solution to all this madness. So break out your notepads and get ready to become the expert at dealing with receiving large sums of money. Let's get cracking. So, what the do you do if you're unlucky to win the lottery? This is the absolutely most important thing you can do right away. Nothing. Yes, nothing. Do not declare yourself the winner yet. Do not tell anyone. The urge is going to be nearly irresistible. Resist it. Trust me. Number 1. Immediately retain an attorney. Get a partner from a larger national firm. Don't let them pawn off junior partners or associates on you. They might try. All law firms might, but insist instead that your lead be a partner who has been with the firm for a while. Do not use your local attorney. Yes, I mean your long-standing family attorney who did your mother's will. Do not use the guy who fought your dry cleaner bill. Do not use the guy you have trusted your entire life because of his long, faithful service to your family. In fact, do not use any firm that has any connection to family or friends or community. Trust me, this is bad. You want someone who has never heard of you, any of your friends, or any member of your family. Go to the closest big city and walk into one of the national firms asking for one of the trust and estates partners you have previously looked up on http://www.martindale.com from one of the largest 50 firms in the United States which has an office near you. You can look up attorneys by practice area and firm on Martindale. Number 2. Decide to take the lump sum. It usually hovers around 4.5% annual return or less, depending. It doesn't take much to do better than this, and if you have the money already in cash, rather than leaving it in the hands of the state, you can pull from the capital whenever you like. If you take the annuity, you won't have access to that cash. That could be good, it could be bad. It's probably bad unless you have a very addictive personality. If you need an allowance managed by the state, it is because you didn't listen to point number 1 above. Why not let the state just handle it for you and give you your allowance? Many state lotteries pay you your allowance, the annuity option, by buying U.S. Treasury instruments and running the interest payments through their bureaucracy before sending it to you along with a hunk of the principal every month. You will not be beating inflation by much, if at all. There is no reason you couldn't do this yourself if a low single-digit return is acceptable to you. You aren't going to get even remotely the amount of the actual jackpot. Take our old friend Mr. Whitaker. Using Whitaker is a good model both because of the reminder of his ignominious decline and the fact that his winning ticket was one of the larger ones on record. If his situation looks less than stellar to you, you might have a better perspective on how large your winnings aren't. Whitaker's jackpot was $315 million. He selected the lump cash upfront option, which knocked off $145 million, or 46% of the total, leaving him with $170 million. That was then subject to withholding for taxes of $56 million, 33%, leaving him with $114 million. In general, you should expect to get about half the original jackpot if you elect a lump sum. Maybe better, it depends. After that, you should expect to lose around 33% of your already pruned figure to state and federal taxes. Your mileage may vary, particularly if you live in a state with aggressive taxation schemes. Number 3, decide right now how much you plan to give to your family and friends. This really shouldn't be more than 20% or so. Figure it out right now. Pick your number. Tell your lawyer. That's it. Don't change it. 20% of $114 million is $22.8 million. That leaves you with $91.2 million. Do not consult with family when deciding how much to give to family. You are going to get advice that is badly tainted by conflict of interest, and if other family members find out that Aunt Flo was consulted and they weren't, you will never hear the end of it. Neither will Aunt Flo. This might later form the basis for an allegation that Aunt Flo unduly influenced you, and a lawsuit might magically appear on this basis. No, I'm not kidding. I know of one circumstance related to a business windfall, not lottery, where the plaintiffs won this case. Do not give anyone cash, ever, period. Just don't. Do not buy them houses. Do not buy them cars. Tell your attorney that you want to provide for your family and that you want to set up a series of trusts for them that will total 20% of your after-tax winnings. Tell him you want the trust empowered to fund higher education, some help, not a total purchase of their first home. Some provisions for weddings and the like, whatever. Do not put yourself in the position of handing out cash. Once you do, if you stop, you will be accused of being a heartless or, trust me, it won't go well. It will be easy to lose perspective. It is now the duty of your friends, family, relatives, hanger-ons, and their inner circle to skew your perspective, and they take this job quite seriously. Setting up a trust, a managed fund, for your family that is in the double-digit millions is amazingly generous. You never have trouble sleeping because you didn't lend Uncle Jerry $20,000 in small denomination unmarked bills to start his chain of deep-fried peanut butter pancake restaurants, Deep and Nutter restaurants. Your attorney will have a good number of ideas how to parse this wealth out without turning your siblings, spouse, children, grandchildren, cousins, waitresses into the latest Paris Hilton. Number 4, you will be encouraged to hire an investment manager. Considerable pressure will be applied. Don't. Investment managers charge fees, usually a percentage of assets. Consider this, if they charge you 1%, which is low, I doubt you could find this deal actually, they have to beat the market by 1% every year just to break even with the general market index fund. This is not worth it, and you do not need the extra return or the extra risk. Go for the index fund instead if you must invest in stocks. This is a hard rule to follow. They will come, recommended by friends. They will come, recommended by family. They will be your second cousin on your mother's side. Investment managers will sound smart. They will have a lot of cool acronyms. They will have nice PowerPoint presentations. They might pay for your shrimp cocktail at lunch at TGI Fridays while reminding you how poor their side of the family is. They live for this stuff. You should smile, thank them for their time, and then tell them you will get back to them next week. Don't sign anything. Don't write it on the cocktail napkin. Lottery lawsuit cases have been won and lost over drunkenly scrawled cocktail napkin addition and subtraction figures with lots of zeros on them. Never call them back. Trust me, you will thank me later. This tactic, smiling, thanking people for their time, and promising to get back to people is going to have to become familiar. You will have to learn to say no gently without saying the word no. It sounds underhanded, sneaky. It is. And it's part of your new survival strategy. And I mean the word survival quite literally. Get this all figured out before you claim your winnings. They aren't going anywhere. Just relax. Number 5, if you'd like to be more global about your paranoia, use between 20 and 33% of what you have not decided to commit to a family fund immediately to purchase a combination of longer-term U.S. Treasuries. 5 or 10-year are a good idea, and perhaps even another G7 Treasury instrument. This is your safety net. You will be protected from yourself. You're going to be really tempted to start being a big investor. You're going to be convinced that you can double your money in Vegas with your awesome roulette system by funding your friend's amazing idea to sell lemming dung, buying land for oil drilling, by shorting the North Pole ice market, global warming, you know. This all sounds tempting because even if I lose it all, I still have XX million left. Anyone can live on that comfortably for the rest of their life. Yeah, except for the 33% of everyone who won the lottery. You're not going to double your money, so cool it. Let me say that again. You're not going to double your money, so cool it. Right now, you'll get around 3.5% on the 10-year U.S. Treasury. With 18.2 million, 20% of 91.2 mil after your absurdly generous family gift invested in those, you will pull down $638,400 per year. If everything else blows up, you still have that, and you will still be in the top 1% of income in the United States. So how about you not with it, eh? And that's income that is safe. If we get to the point where the United States defaults on those instruments, we are in far worse shape than worrying about money. If you're really paranoid, you might want to consider picking another G7 or otherwise mainstream country other than the US according to where you want to live if the United States dissolves into anarchy or Britney Spears is elected to the US Senate. Put some fraction in something like Swiss government bonds at 3%. If the Swiss stop paying on their government debt, well, then you know money really means nothing anywhere on the globe anymore. I'd study small field sustainable agriculture if you think this is a possibility. You might have to start feeding yourself. This is some really good info, but I'm afraid you'll have to subscribe in order to hit the notification bell to be the first to know what else you need to do. You got this far, so please like the video to let me know you want more content like this, and don't forget to comment and tell me what you think about winning the lottery now. Cheers.